Good morning from a cold, wet, miserable, rainy, soggy, disgusting German morning. If you're in Germany today, you have my deepest sympathies. It's just horrible out there. Well, it is here anyway, right in the centre of Germany I am. And to those of you in other time zones, good afternoon, good evening, and much safer, hello. It's Lynn here from the Learn English Network live chat, as ever, and we're going to kick off straight away this week because Zeb's back. And to those of you who've gone, oh Zeb, it was so quiet without you, think about why it was quiet without Zeb. Okay, that's all I've got to say about that. So let's see. Sarah kicked off last week by saying, and it's something I want to address, oh, I missed the text chat, I guess, and then a little frown. And I replied, well, sort of, but not really. You posted right in the middle of it. So this live chat is run on the live chat page, and it's sort of experimental, but whilst I'm doing this broadcast, I've got two computers open, my laptop, which is logged into live chat, which hopefully means that if anybody replies to live chat or posts on live chat, I will get the message and then I'll be able to read it out and correct it here, I hope. But in the meantime, what I'll do is go back 7 days, usually a week, and look at the previous posts and correct those so that people who've posted during the week will get text corrections through voice. Okay, so you didn't miss it, Sarah. And Zeb came back. She must have heard me last week. And Zeb replied, hi Sarah, a text chat might never end. How are you? Sarah, you didn't reply to Zeb. Anyway, then somebody called Lalo, I think, said, hello, my name is Lalo. Can you help me if you want to help me my Skype? And then I deleted your Skype ID. I will do that when I spot them. Don't put your emails and Skype IDs in an open online forum. It's really not a good idea. Okay? So, Lalo, I replied to you, and I said, hi Lalo, welcome to the network. We do run Skype sessions, but you have to be a member of the forum to take part. Okay, so Lalo, hello would be with a capital H, and then you'd start a new line with capital M for my name is Lalo, and then full stop. Okay, that's a statement. My name is Lalo. And then next sentence would be can with a capital C you help me, and it's just one L, H-E-L-P, question mark. Again, that's a second sort of question. It stands on its own. And then you've got a nice little conditional sentence here. If you want to help me, my Skype ID is blah blah blah. So it's capital I for if. If you want to help me, comma, my Skype should be capitalized because it's the name of the company. ID is blah blah blah. Okay, then Novia came and said hello, and I went hello Novia, and Novia ran away screaming. Zeb came back, as I say, and she started posting already. Zeb said, hi there, I read this morning that 12th the 1st 2014 was a no trousers tube ride. I almost wished I were in Paris that day. Any of you took part in the event? No, you'll be glad to know I kept my trousers on. A few pics from the tube in London that day, and there's a lovely link to some pictures. And it's not rude or lewd, it's no trousers tube ride. And on the link that she sent us, I did write, I'm glad it wasn't the American version, no pants tube ride. Then Zeb replied to Rafa, and I'm not sure if Rafa got this message, but she said, hi Rafa, I don't know if this message will reach you, but I want to thank you for your recommendation of the book Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Quite disturbing, but I have enjoyed it. Yeah, it's a brilliant book. Really, really good. Okay, and we've got one new comment on Live Discuss. Let's see. Hello, hello, hello. Polly Parrot testing. That's Sarah. Very good. Is that the early morning wake-up call, I'll say. Zeb then put up a very disturbing post. Alice, Winnie the Pooh and more as you maybe have never imagined them. And then there's a link to some photos of these creatures, and they are quite disturbing. The Winnie the Pooh with blood dripping from his fangs. It's not nice. That's not my. I replied, and my original reply seemed to have gone astray. I'm not sure what happened there, but I replied, all I can say is that's not my Pooh Bear. Anyhow, April came along and said, I'm off for the French session now. We'll be talking about La Dame aux Camélias. Aladdin replied to April, you're off for the French session now. That is mean you won't talking about La Dame aux Camélias. So, I think you wanted to say, Aladdin, you're off for your French session now. Does that mean you won't be talking about La Dame aux Camélias here? Question mark. And April also got confused and said, what are you talking about, Aladdin? Lol. I've probably used the wrong preposition as always. Are you an expert in preposition, Aladdin? That would be, are you an expert in prepositions, Aladdin? Do I have to say I'm off to instead of I'm off for? Now I really have to go. Then Zeb said, I'm off to somewhere, sounds correct to me. I've never read any Dumas book. What is La Dame aux Camélias about? April replied, Marie Duplessis, Zeb. Does it ring the bell? Or La Traviata? Okay, so you wouldn't say, does it ring the bell? What bell? Yeah, is there a real bell? No, not really. You just say, does it ring a bell? Does it ring a bell? Do you remember it? Does that remind you of it? Okay. Zeb replied, Marie Duplessis doesn't ring a bell. Ooh, well done, Zeb. La Traviata is an opera, isn't it? What's the link with the book? And April replied, the opera is based on the book. It seems, because I don't know anything about the opera. Ha ha. Okay, what you could say instead of it seems, you could say I think. Because I don't really know anything about the opera, and then full stop. Don't forget your full stop. The book is from Alexandre Dumas, a biography of Marie Duplessis, a French courtesan in the 19th century. I've heard of that book, but I haven't read that. Okay, I've heard of the book, but I haven't read it. We discussed an article about her yesterday in French. Okay, and all you need after yesterday is a comma and then small I in French. Okay, very good. Zeb then replied, is Marie Duplessis worth talking about? Why? And April said, we love talking about sociology and everything around it, in spite of my lack of knowledge in this field, but we have Poetria in the group who is like a walking Wikipedia. Poetria, have you ever been called a walking Wikipedia before? So, I'd say it slightly differently. We love talking about sociology and everything around it, in spite of our lack of knowledge in this field. And then you could end it as a sentence and then say, however, we have Poetria in the group who is like a walking Wikipedia. A Wikipedia on legs. Sorry, Poetria. Lol. I'm not sure if Poetry has read that. I must try to remember to remind her to come and have a look at this one. And then Zeb said, does it mean that Poetry sounds like a lecturer in a university and you take notes? Oh, I don't know. I've never been to one of those sessions. April didn't reply. I think she was suddenly realising, oh no, what have I said? When it's on the internet, it's there forever. Don't worry, April. I think you can delete comments in Discuss if you've changed your mind about what you wanted to say. Okay, then we got somebody I think must be from either Japan or China because it's in script, but hi anyone there. So hi, capital H, and then anyone there, perfect, capital A for anyone. Zeb replied, yep, I'm here. What's going on over there? And I replied hi, but we didn't get any reply. Then April said, having realised that Zeb's returned, glad that you're back, Zeb. I've tried to liven things up here whilst you were away, but it was hopeless. You are just irreplaceable. As Lynn said, it's so quiet without Zeb. Welcome back, Zeb. That's nice. And then Zeb came and said, yep, back to rainy weather and winter clothes. Listening to your comments, I understand that live chat is not necessarily your favourite place to interact in English, but I was very happy to notice that you've inhabited it. It makes it easy to join in again. Did you have a white Christmas in Belgium? April then said, we lost our magic to have a white Christmas, I think, Zeb. Not any flocks of snow. In fact, it was stormy weather the day before Christmas. Quite severe one. However, on Christmas Day, all was calm, all was bright. So, we lost any magic for a white Christmas, I think, Zeb. Not one flake of snow, because we often talk about flakes. snowflakes. Flocks tend to be sheep, and I think if sheep started dropping from the sky, we'd be. Although we do get cats and dogs, don't we? But sheep, oh, that would be horrible. In fact, it was stormy the day before Christmas. Um, in fact, we had a storm the day before Christmas, quite a severe one. However, on Christmas Day, all was calm, all was bright. Very good. Then Zeb said, have you been as badly hit by the storm as the UK and Brittany in France? For the first time, I celebrated Christmas on the 25th, but the most unusual was Boxing Day for me. Okay, so Boxing Day would be capitalised. Okay, boxing with a capital B, day with a capital D. April then said, no, not so bad. No casualties, but quite a lot of material damage. Material damage, yeah, I suppose that's okay. Or maybe structural damage would be okay too. And then Zeb said, any electricity outage? And April replied, luckily not, unlike in UK. And it's always the UK because it's United Kingdom. So when it's got kingdom or states at the end, we always have the United States, the United Kingdom. So in the UK. Zeb then said, I experienced an electricity outage in December. An electricity pole was struck by lightning. It lasted just about 4 to 5 hours, but I'm still amazed at how much it disturbed me. And I replied, most of us are electroholics, if we but knew it. And Zeb then said, when I woke up with no electricity, my first reaction was to check the fuse, then have a look if it was the same in the neighbourhood. When it's clear that you can't do anything but just wait for electricity to come back, you don't know how to start the day. It was a bit like having a hangover. And what you'd say, perfect post apart from the bit, but just wait for the electricity to come back. Okay, yeah, we're very much in the hands of the electric boards now, aren't we? Okay, Sarah came back, and Sarah, if you're replying, don't start a new thread, reply to the previous one, then it flows better. Sarah started with, but I couldn't see any exchange of text in this window. All the text appearing in this window are up to 2 months old. Maybe I am at the wrong place again. I am pasting the link of my location. I hope I'm not lost once again. Yes, I'm afraid you were, Sarah. Okay. It's up to you to set your preferences to newest rather than best or anything else, because best will just be the most popular posts and newest will be the latest posts. So I think I can understand why you're not replying. You're not seeing the texts, the posts. You can also go into your Discuss account and manage it from there, so you only see the things you've posted in and your replies. That can be quite useful. Of course, I have to look at everything, but anyhow, so what you'd say here is, but I couldn't see any exchange of text in this window. All the text appearing in this window is up to 2 months old. Maybe I am in the wrong place again. I'm pasting the link to the location. My location, no. I'm pasting the link. I hope I'm not lost once again. As I say, down the rabbit hole. And I replied with a link to the live chat page, because what you'd link to was an old post. So you can link directly to different posts, or you can link to the whole page. And I wrote, your link points to an old chat. The live chat page moves on apace, and old discussions get left behind. Okay. Juleva wrote, hello. And Zeb wrote, hi Juleva. New on this LE network, or have you already participated in the other areas of the network? G+, Forum, SL, Kitely, etc. Yeah, we're all over the place. Juleva said, hi Zeb, with a Z. I'm so new, I didn't even realise I had joined. I'm a native speaker of English. In the past, I enjoyed chatting with English students at English Town in their free club for many years. When the free chat was done away with, I was unable to ever find a replacement for it. That was the best and only chat site I ever really approved of. Hopefully, until now. So hopefully until now. I see some encouraging signs that this will also be a wonderful chat site. And Zeb then replied, you might like to have a look at the G+ community then. From there you can easily access to the other parts of the network, or from there you can easily access other parts of the network. And she provided the link. I wrote, hi Juleva, chat rooms are notoriously difficult to run. We used to have a proper one on the old forum, but it kept breaking down so often I threw up my hands and gave up. We then tried Google Friend Connect, which was fun because it was so easy to use, but a little difficult to moderate. In the end, though, Google took it out and shot it. Discuss is a cross between a chat room and Google Friend Connect, and I have to say, so far so good. Stick around and let's see what we can do together. And Zeb wrote, so far so good. I agree. I like the place. Sarah then said, how can I move on to new discussion? Cannot see an arrow pointing to next page. I replied, there are no arrows, just click on load more comments. Also, make sure your discuss thread is set to newest, not best. And then John came along and said, hello there, are you keen on winter sports like skiing or snowboarding? What are you up to during winter holidays? Okay, so I'd say, what are you up to during the winter holidays? And I replied, hi John, I went skiing once, I enjoyed it, but life conspired in such a way that it was my first and last chance. And Matsu replied, hi John, welcome to the network. I mostly stayed indoors, where it was warm. I should have joined you, Zeb. And Zeb replied, actually, I like to have people joining me for some time when I do long journeys abroad. Difficult one, because I know what you're trying to say, Zeb. I just wouldn't say it like that. Actually, I like to have people join me for a short time when I'm on a long journey. So that's sort of saying you don't want them to do the whole journey with you, but a little bit of company in a short stretch is nice. Actually, it's quite a nice way to travel, I guess. I've never done it that way, but it sounds good. Amatsu said, Zeb, I would too. It's a long way to Oz, but I think being on your own might encourage you to chat to others. And Zeb said, travelling on your own, you make fantastic encounters. I have been surprised at how many people come toward you when you travel solo. Then someone called Robert joined us and said, hi guys. Amatsu said, hi Robert, welcome to the network. And Zeb said, hi Robert, do people tend to call you Bob? And Robert went running away. Science came along and said, hi Zeb, nice to see you again. Where were you last month? Live chat becomes die chat when you left us because your comments are more than 70% of the total posted comments. Are you ready to celebrate your return and your 1000 comment? Okay, so Science, hi Zeb, nice to see you again. Where were you last month? That's fine. Nice to see you again is one sentence, full stop. Where were you last month? Capital W, because it's a question. So try not to mix up your questions and your statements. Live chat became die chat when you left us. Because your comments are make up more than 70% of the total posted comments. Are you ready to celebrate your return and your 1000th comment? Okay, thousandth. It's an ordinal number, th at the end. Zeb then replied, G'day, Science. This greeting should give you a hint where I was. So this greeting should give you a hint to where I was. And then she wrote BTW, which means by the way. I'm surprised you didn't try to surpass my 1000 plus messages while I was away. How come? Okay, so not I'm surprised, I'm surprised. Even though it's I am, you use surprised, okay? I'm surprised you didn't try to surpass my 1000 plus messages while I was away. How come? Good question. Science went, good day? No idea. Could you explain more? Concerning your 1000 comments, it was an accumulation of a long experience, and as you know, I am new here, and when you were away, people say hi and disappear suddenly without any reason, so it is better to don't take part in a died conversation. Okay, so, concerning your 1000 comments, it was an accumulation of long experience, and as you know, I'm new here. Full stop, that would be enough. While you were away, people said hi, but then disappeared, disappeared, suddenly without any reason. So it's better to not take part in a dead conversation, okay? Zeb replied, most people will still pop over, say hi and vanish, but a few will stay a bit longer. Having a conversation is one of the most difficult things, okay? Adding, if I say "G'day mate," is it easier to figure out where I was? Science replied, I know that you were in Australia, but I don't know that greeting, that's why I asked you. So tell me more about that. G'day, said Zeb. Good day is for hello, hi in Australia. I can't seem to be able to expand more than that, Science. Exactly, it just is. Okay, Science replied, that's enough, thanks so much, and don't use it here, please. Bonjour is more appropriate than that Australian hi. I think it was you idea because it is a word-by-word translation of bonjour. Am I right? Okay, so I think it was your idea because it is a word-for-word translation of bonjour. Am I right? And Zeb said, nope. I wasn't playing any trick on you, although I like that the idea crossed your mind. I have never thought that it could be a translation of the French bonjour. It doesn't cross. Keep dreaming. Bon equals good, jour equals day. Tell me more specific Australian vocabulary if you don't mind. And Zeb then said, OK, I'll try to punctuate some of my messages with Aussie slang at time. OK, at times. At times. And I replied, if you lived in Shakespeare's time, it would be a useful greeting. And I gave a link to some medieval English. So, because people used to say, good day, sir. Good day, sirrah. And science, that freaked him out. Sorry, this is not English, although it's written in Latin letters. Latin, capital L, ruffle. Have you read in Old French, said Zeb. What do you think of it? And Science replied, not yet, but I'm looking for that. Any link to share here? Then Zeb replied, here you go with the Anglo-Norman Dictionary. Wow. April popped in and said, don't blame Science, Zeb. He hasn't got the well-travelled badge. Me neither, actually, lol. And Zeb said, but you two travel quite a lot in Second Life, don't you? And Science quite rightly said, we do, Zeb, and we got SL Adventure Badge. Why don't join us there? It is safer and cheaper than real life. Okay, so Science, you'd say, we do, Zeb, and we got the SL Adventure Badge. Why don't you join us there? It's safer and cheaper than real life. Don't be that shy, April. You can ask Lynn directly for that badge. You really deserve it. I don't like indirect requests. Lol. Or is that lol? Okay, so April with the capital A. April replied to Science, am I that bad, Science? I don't think I have visited enough countries to request that. Oh, never mind, April. Science then said, even Zeb can apply for that. It is a long trip from France to Australia. Then Science said, not at all. 19 countries is enough to get that badge. I'm sure about that. Sarah then came back. It's disjointed conversation, and Sarah wrote, got it, thanks a million. Zeb wrote, hi Sarah, now you just have to make yourself comfortable here, hope to interact with you sometimes. And Science said, you're welcome Sarah, maybe a billion will be more appropriate. Anyway, you are forgiven this time. I answered you as I was that one who helped you. How we call it English, Lynn? Copyleft or Creative Commons? Lol. So, you're welcome Sarah with a capital S. Maybe a billion would be more appropriate. Anyway, you are forgiven this time, full stop. I answered you as I was the one who helped you. How do we say it in English, Lynn? Copyleft or Creative Commons? Okay. And then Sarah said, you're great, Science. Forgiveness is the virtue of a brave, in Dragandi. I think it must be forgiveness is the virtue of the brave. Hi Zeb, thanks. I really feel I'm in safe hands. This is my first experience of interacting people on the net. That is great. Lynn and the regular members of this forum make you feel at home. I'm really grateful to everybody. So Sarah, what you'd say is, hi Zeb, thanks. I really feel I'm in safe hands. That's fine. Full stop. Okay. This is my first experience of interacting with people on the net, and it's great. Lynn and the regular members of this forum make you feel at home. I'm really grateful to everybody. Very good. Zeb then said, glad to hear that you're enjoying the network, Sarah. The LE network has helped me a lot to develop my English while having fun for many years now. By the way, when you reply to someone, it would be easier to follow the conversation if you use the reply button under the message of the person you want to reply to. Indeed. Sarah then replied to Zeb. Yay! Well done, Sarah. Thanks. Could you please also tell me how to respond to a specific person in chit-chat session? I noticed members responding to each other by using @ or plus sign. And Zeb replied, here, when you type the @ sign, a list box appears with names of people. Okay, you could say a drop-down list appears with the names of people. Then full stop, that's fine. Select a name, for example, I select Sarah, and this person will be added to my message as @Sarah. Sarah should be notified by email of my reply. And Sarah replied, at Zeb. Whoa, got it, thanks indeed. And Zeb replied, you're welcome, bye for now. And Sarah said, bye. Hey, that's a proper conversation with a beginning and an end. And Juleva came back and said, hello. And Zeb went, who's there? And I replied, be fair, Zeb, Juleva didn't say knock knock. And Zeb went, true, but it looked like it. Science then said, lol, don't worry, he will disappear. I'm not sure if Juleva's a he or a she. There's no indication on their profile. So Zeb then said, is Juleva a he, Science? Exactly, Zeb. And Science said, she, he, it depends, but it doesn't matter because she, he will not come back, lol. And Zeb replied, in a previous message Juleva wrote, how come at Science, and she put a quote from Juleva, and then said quite rightly to Science, how come, Science, you can be so sure Juleva would not like to come back? And I have to say, Science, if I was joining a discussion and people just kept saying, well, she won't come back anyway, I probably wouldn't. So could you try to keep it a bit more welcoming? I mean, if if it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. And people do come in here and they disappear. It's quite funny. I just find it funny. And sometimes people come and they find it useful and they stick around for a while. And it might be their first time on the internet in such a thing, so we want to make it as welcoming as possible so they're not frightened the next time they go into another group or another session or somewhere else. This is like a welcoming committee. Welcome to the internet, everybody. Okay, so keep it light and fluffy and don't be too sarky. Okay, then Zeb posted a very interesting post here. Recently 2 women got a top job position which used to be held by men. Okay, so what you'd say here, Zeb, is recently 2 women got a top position which used to be held by men. Helen Clark, who was former New Zealand Prime Minister, now heads up the United Nations Development Programme. She's the first woman to hold the job. So here you could say Helen Clark, who is the former New Zealand Prime Minister, now heads up the United Nations Development Programme. She's the first woman to hold the job. Then you said Janet Yellen is the new chairperson of the Federal Reserve. Here too she is the first woman to take over the top spot in the 100-year history of the US Central Bank. Are there any prominent women in your country? Okay, so I replied, Anne McLaren was one of the great unsung female scientists in the UK. Unfortunately, she died in 2007, and like most female scientists, most people have never heard of her. Sad but true. And I wrote, Theresa May is the Home Secretary in the UK, and like it or not, she's only the second ever female to hold the position. I wrote also, there's a funny list on the Woman's Hour website, and I gave a link. It has Victoria Beckham on it. P.S. used to be held by men. I don't know why I did that correction. I shouldn't. I should leave it for live chat. Sometimes I can't help myself. Science then wrote, what about Rosalind Franklin? She discovered the DNA structure and the others earned the Nobel Prizes instead of her. Okay, so she discovered the DNA structure. She helped to discover the structure of DNA, but the others earned the Nobel Prize instead of her, and Nobel should be N because it's the institution, the Nobel Prize Institution. Okay, Watson and Crick didn't do anything. Don't think that's very fair. Only spying of her research. They don't have any scientific principles. I hate them. So what you'd say is Watson and Crick didn't do anything. They only spied on her research. They don't have any scientific principles. I hate them. Okay, let me just add that that is not the view of the network. That is Science's own personal opinion, allegedly. I wrote to Science, she died in 1958 and I was trying to find current movers and shakers. Okay, Science also replied to Zeb, not in my country but in your country there were Marie Curie and her daughter. Marie Curie won the Nobel Prize for both chemistry and physics, and her daughter Irene Joliette Curie earned the Nobel Prize of Chemistry. It would be the Nobel Prize for Chemistry. It is a shame on you when you ignore them. I will give you 0 out of 20 in this comment. Okay, it's a shame that you ignored them. I will give you 0 out of 20 for this comment. Then Zeb replied, when it comes to France, off the top of my head I can think of MAM, Michel Aliot Marie. I'm pretty sure there are plenty. The hick is that the workplace is still like a boy club in which women are not allowed. Luckily, there are more and more women as entrepreneur and starting their own businesses. Okay, so luckily there are more and more women entrepreneurs who are starting their own businesses. And Zeb also said to Science, "It makes me a bit sad that you can't refer to any prominent women in your country. May I ask you if in your field of study there are women?" And Science replied, "We are 6 students with 1 woman among us. They are not good at physical science, although they are unbeatable in social science and learning languages." I just sent a reply with a link to a piece of research on, or an article on how to get women into science, and Zeb must have read it because she wrote, "Science, you might like to reconsider your assertion regarding women in science after reading the article posted by Lynn." Big smile. Eleanor came and joined us and said, "I have joined a group in Compskisters on Facebook. These are alumni from the first AI course, from other MOOCs too, of course. They are combating stereotypes like this. Many ladies that are excellent at maths and IT. Don't be afraid, they aren't bloodthirsty at all. Yes, Maria Sklodowska-Curie, she was Polish, and she married Pierre Curie. I don't intend to claim her, though. I think science is international." I replied to Science, Marie Curie was originally called Maria Sklodowska, so Poetry may want to claim her. In addition, Zeb did say, "Are there any prominent women in your country?" As in now. If she had said, "Are there any prominent women from your country?" I would agree with you. Science said, "But the University of Pierre et Marie Curie is in France, not in Poland. Even if polonium is named on the honour of Poland. So even if polonium was named after Poland." Okay, LOL. And I then replied, "No one ever said the world made sense." She was buried in France too, under the dome of the Pantheon in Paris, although in 1911 was also denied membership to the French Academy of Science on the grounds of her sex. Science then said, "That's right, but you didn't answer me about Rosalind Franklin." Oh, poor Rosalind, you have been ignored by our teacher. And I replied, "Well, I wasn't the first, and I won't be the last." As I say, I was trying to find some women who are prominent now, okay, and I'm sure there are more. If anybody wants to add more and prove my ignorance, please do so. I'm quite happy to learn about these things. Moulay Nuruddin said hello, and April said, "Hello, Moulay, everything okay?" Srini said hi, and April said, "Hi, Srini, how are you?" And yes, they ran away, but it doesn't matter, okay? Then Awana came. Awana must have noticed that Zeb was back and said, "Oh, so nice to see you back, Zeb. You missed us so much. So visible that you are back in just a few days. There are so many comment already. I was so afraid that the live chat will die without you. Today, when I saw it, I knew for sure that you are back. I'm happy to see you again." So, Awana, what you'd say here? "Oh, so nice to see you back, Zeb. We missed you so much." Okay, you missed us so much. You can't say that because you don't know. She might not have missed us at all. And then you could say, "It's really noticeable that you're back. In just a few days, there have been so many comments already. I was afraid that live chat would die without you. Today, when I saw it, I knew for sure that you're back. I'm happy to see you again." Perfect. Then Science said, "Hey, all right, Reserve, be careful." No idea what that's about, Science. And neither did Awana, because Awana said, "What do you mean, Science? Don't you miss Zeb too?" Okay, so there, Awana, you'd say, "Didn't you miss Zeb too?" And Science said, "No, I mean all right, Reserved of live chat will die without Zeb." Okay, I'm still not sure what you mean by all right, Reserved. No, Science, if you hear this, then you'll have to ask me or explain to me what you were trying to say. Oana said, "I think it was almost died last month. Don't you think the same? I really missed live chat. I mean everyone, not only Zeb." Ooh, there we go. "I think it almost died last month. Don't you think the same?" Science said, "Absolutely right, that's what I meant. By the way, I mentioned it previously. That's why I told you all right, Reserved. Did you get it?" Still don't get it, no. Zeb then said, "Guys, live chat is like a pub or a club. You all know the location, and if you keep meeting up, it can't die. It's true, though, that I feel like one of the bartenders sometimes." Oh, Zeb, I'll send you a tea towel. Oana said, I think I didn't get what you meant. If you told me to be careful, I was afraid that maybe I was wrong to speak in the name of others. Um, Okay, Oana, you'd say, not I think, but I didn't get what you meant. That's a statement, yeah. Not you know you didn't get what he meant, so you just say it. Be positive, yeah. I just didn't get what you meant. You told me to be careful, so I was afraid that maybe I was wrong to speak in the name of others. Um, Science then said, no, I didn't mean that. Anyway, you will get it when you listen to the recording. Lol. I still don't get it. Science. Next time we meet up in one of the voice sessions, you'll have to try to explain to me what you're going on about. Oana said, I can't wait. It'd be nice if you joined us too, Oana, but I know it can be difficult for you. But really, we need to get to the bottom of this. Thursday night, maybe, we can have a chat in Kitely about this. Remind me, though, because I will have forgotten by Thursday. Sachin Danka said, hi, hey, anybody here? So it would be hi, not hey. Hey is too much like a warning. So HI, capital H, and then comma. Anybody is one word, so there's no space between anybody. Anybody here? And it's a question really, so rather than an ellipsis, dot, 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 put a question mark. He also wrote hi. And then myself, Sachin Danka. Okay, you don't say myself. The reflexive pronoun, we use it for very specific purposes and not for introduction. So you just say, I am Sachin Danka, and remember, capitalize your name, okay? And then full stop. Matsu said, hi Sachin, welcome. And Zeb said, hi Sachin, I'm Zeb. In fact, she said, hi Sachin, I'm Zeb. Where did the H come from, Zeb? Don't worry, it's all good. And we've had a couple of things from on the actual live chat. One's from Sarah. No, but a reality check. Since it is live chat time, I'm just checking on the community if it is not resting. And now Hussein came in and said, I want to join, please. And unfortunately, that ended up in the pending to be approved. So you need to make sure you're logged in and you've got a discuss account, okay? And then Hussein said, it seems no discussion today. I hope to attend next week. So I'll just reply to that, although belatedly. Sorry, your post ended up in moderation, and that can happen, I'm afraid. So sorry about that, Hussein. Maybe next week. But this is really about this recording as well. So live chat kind of goes on the whole week. Anyway, Tot came in yesterday and said, yesterday is a great day because I took a dancing class and meet my teacher that I start learning dance from her so many years ago. So happy she still remember me, even though I don't take her class recently. Okay, so Tot, excellent post. What you should write is, though, because you're in yesterday, it has to go into the past. All the verbs have to kind of match up with the time you're talking about. So you would say, yesterday was a great day because I, capital I, took a dancing class and met my teacher, who I started learning dance from so many years ago. Okay, so happy she still remembers me, even though I haven't taken her class recently. Ooh, lovely mixture of tenses there. Okay, so maybe listen to that a couple of times, Tot. Okay, and Matsu replied, "Hey Tot, it's nice that you're back dancing. Keep fit and enjoy it too. Not like going to a gym." I think that's a reference to the fitness sessions we've been running on the network. Only the vocabulary, by the way. Not fitness sessions where I'm making you do any exercises. Apart from in Second Life, we've all been doing some yoga in Second Life with our avatars and working out at the gym with our avatars. But it's a great way of learning the vocabulary. Your avatar's doing it and you're watching your avatar doing it. It's kind of immerses you in the activity. Okay, Zeb replied, what types of dancers? Rock and roll, salsa, tango, ballet? And Todd replied, K-pop. Ooh, I'm learning hip-hop and Bollywood as well, but no ballet. It's too late for me. Okay, but no ballet, it's too late for me. Do you know what, Tot? I don't agree. Maybe to be a ballerina it's too late, but I think that ballet itself should be like singing. If you want to dance ballet, dance ballet. You don't have to be a member of the state. I think that's the problem with professional ballet. The idea is that you are always going to stand on tippy toe and do pas de deux and everything complicated. No, just dance, ballet. It's so graceful and lovely. Maybe we should do ballet for oldies, or ballet for tall people, or ballet for people who are overweight. Let's claim back ballet. Sorry, I digress. Zeb then said, "Oh, have hip hop and Bollywood similar dancing movements, or they are totally different from each other?" Okay, so do hip hop and Bollywood have similar dancing movements, comma, or are they totally different from each other? Question mark. Um, they are different movements, said Tot. Bollywood is a kind of Indian dance, most used for the Indian film to tell the story, and hip hop is a strong rhythm based music. I hope I get it right. Okay, so Tot really nicely explained. What you could say is they are different movements. Okay, full stop. Bollywood, capital B, is a kind of Indian dance, Indian capital I, mostly used in Indian films to tell the story, comma, and hip hop has a strong rhythm bass. I hope I have got it right. Yeah, very good though. I would have understood you. Remember, that's the main thing. So Zeb replied, hip hop started in the 80s in France. They used to call it breakdance. Bollywood, yeah. When I go out to eat Indian, there is often a TV set with some Bollywood on. What about K-pop? I've never heard of K-pop before. And Tot said, K-pop is a Korean style dance. The song Ringa Linga, Sing by Taeyang, is one of the hit songs recently. Okay, so the song Ringa Linga, sung by Taeyang, is one of the recent hit songs, or one of the recent hits, you can say as well. Zeb said, I'll have a listen to it later. Is there any special dance on K-pop? I would say, are there any special K-pop dancers? Okay. And Tot got a bit confused as well and said, do you mean any famous K-pop dance? Or I think you'd say, do you mean any famous K-pop dancers? And Zeb said, no, I was just wondering if there was a K-pop dance. I'll have to spend some time on YouTube. An all-new unknown music world is opening for me. Hip-hop and Bollywood mean dancing in a group. Am I correct? Are you part of a dancing band? Okay, we'd say a dance group rather than a dancing band. It's very difficult to dance whilst you're playing music, and when you say band, you tend to think of a group playing music. And with dancing, we tend to say a dance group or a dance troupe as well. Okay, Sarah joined in and said, Zeb, Bollywood dance is not necessarily in a group. So Bollywood is not necessarily a group dance. Full stop, then capital A. A signal dancer can also do it. So a single, Single, rather than signal. Signal and single, two different words. A single dancer can also do it. Full stop. Very good. It is a mixture of various dance styles, choreographed in line with the song. Excellent. The dance movements must correspond with the lyrics in one way or the other. So I'd say in one way or another. This is a sort of cocktail of Indian Kathak, classical belly dancing, folk dance, and some Western dance styles. Tot replied, of course, I'm not any part of dancing band. I'm just a student learning dancing. Okay, so Tot would say, of course, capital I, am not part of any dance group. And then you'd say, I'm just a student learning dance or learning to dance. Okay, so I'm, not I just. I apostrophe M or I am just a student learning to dance. K-pop dance in a group, for example, there are 12 members of the band EXO and 4 members of 2NE1, etc. Most likely a lot of member for the K-pop group. So, K-poppers dance in a group? Maybe. Or K-pop is usually danced in a group. It'd be fine. For example, there are 12 members of the band EXO, not of the Bang EXO, and 4 members of 2NE1, etc. Most likely a lot of members for the K-pop group. I'm not sure what you meant by that, Tot. Zeb said, gosh, I feel so out of touch. Hey, me too. Me too, Zeb. And Tot, I'll come back later after I've watched and listened to some K-pop. See you later. Tot then said, great, try to search K-pop from YouTube and hope you like it. See you soon. And Zeb replied, sure, see you soon. I have to say, Tot, your little emoticons are very sweet. And we'll end this week with Sarah, who wrote, is this sentence correct? A multi-hazard vulnerabilities assessment is the process to identify the elements at risk: people, physical infrastructure, livelihoods, crops and services and analyse the causes that exacerbate existing vulnerabilities or generate new ones. P.S. Sorry for reposting it, as I was sure if I have posted it correctly. Okay, so is this sentence correct? Question mark. Um, a multi-hazard, this is how I'd say it, okay. A multi-hazard vulnerabilities assessment is a process used to identify elements at risk. People, in brackets is fine, people, physical infrastructure, livelihood, crops and services, and I think you mean etc., not ARC. I'm not sure what you mean by ARC, to be honest. And analyse the causes that exacerbate existing vulnerabilities or generate new ones. Yeah, I'd say that's okay. Do you have to do vulnerability assessment? We often call it risk assessment rather than vulnerability assessments, by the way. I'm not sure if that's what you mean, but in the UK we tend to talk about risk assessment. And then you'd say, P.S. Sorry for reposting it. I was unsure if I had posted it correctly. Nice use of tenses, hey. And that's it for this week, it seems to be. So thank you for joining us. Sorry for those who ended up in the queue for moderation. I'll try and sort that out for next time. But it is, part of being on the net. And as I say, it is experimental. So live chat's really about these corrections rather than chatting live. My attempt to do so on another computer was a bit of a failure because the computer kept going into blank screen mode and I had to keep rebooting it. So we'll get there, don't worry about it. So take care, I hope you enjoy listening, and I'll look forward to reading more of your comments next week. Take care, and remember, practice your English and be nice, be kind, and if you can't be good, don't get caught.